Day 293, Maccabean Revolt, 1 Maccabees 12, Sirach 30-31, Proverbs 23 verses 13-16. Let's begin. 1 Maccabees 12. And Jonathan saw that time was on his side, and he chose men, and he sent them to Rome, to confirm and renew the peace agreement with them. And he sent letters to the Spartans, and to other places, according to the same form. And they went to Rome and entered into the Senate house, and they said, Jonathan, the high priest, and the nation of the Jews, have sent us to renew the peace and alliance, as it was before. And they gave letters to them, to those in each place, so that they would lead them into the land of Judah with peace. And this is a copy of the letters that Jonathan wrote to the Spartans. Jonathan, the high priest, and the elders of the people, and the priests, and the rest of the people of the Jews, to the Spartans, their brothers, greetings. Now, some time ago, letters were sent to Onias, the high priest from Arius, who reigned then among you, so that you would be our brothers, just as the copy that is written below states. And Onias received the man whom you had sent with honor. And he received the letters, in which was conveyed the alliance and peace treaty. We, though, have no need of these things, having for our solace the sacred books, which are in our hands. We prefer to send to you, so as to renew the brotherhood and friendship, lest we should, in effect, become a stranger to you, for much time has passed since you sent to us. Therefore, we will remember you, at all times without ceasing, in our solemnities and other days when it is fitting, in the sacrifices that we offer, and in our observances, just as it is fitting and right to remember brothers. And so, we rejoice at your glory. But many tribulations and many wars have surrounded us, and the kings who are around us have fought against us. But we are not willing to trouble you, nor the rest of our allies and friends, about these battles. For we have assistance from heaven, and we have been delivered, and our enemies have been humbled. And so, we have chosen Numenius, the son of Antiochus, and Antipater, the son of Jason, and we have sent them to the Romans, to renew the former peace treaty and alliance with them. And so, we have commanded them to also come to you, and to greet you, and to deliver our letters to you, about the renewal of our brotherhood. And now, you would do well to respond to us about these things. And this is a copy of the letters that he sent to Onias. Arius, king of the Spartans, to Onias, the great priest, greetings. It is found in Scripture, about the Spartans and the Jews, that they are brothers, and that they are of the family of Abraham. And since we know these things, you would do well to write to us about your peace. But we also have written back to you that our cattle and our possessions are yours, and yours are ours. And so, we have commanded that these things should be announced to you. And Jonathan heard that the leaders from Demetrius had returned again with a greater army than before, so as to fight against him. And so, he departed from Jerusalem, and he met them in the region of Hamath. For he did not give them time to enter into his own region. And he sent spies into their camp, and returning, they reported that they planned to come upon them in the night. And when the sun had set, Jonathan instructed his men to stand watch, and to be in arms, ready to fight, all night long, and he stationed guards around the camp. And the adversaries heard that Jonathan was prepared, with his own for warfare. And they were struck with fear and dread in their heart. And they kindled fires in their camp. But Jonathan, and those who were with him, did not know about it until morning. For they saw the lights burning. And Jonathan pursued them, but did not overtake them. For they had crossed the river Eleutheris. And Jonathan diverted toward the Arabians, who are called Zabadeans. And he struck them and took their spoils. And he regrouped and came to Damascus, and he passed through all that region. But Simon went forth and came as far as Ascalon, and the nearby fortresses, but he turned aside to Joppa and occupied it. For he had heard that they intended to hand over the fortress that was on the side of Demetrius, and he stationed a guard there to keep it. And Jonathan returned, and he called together the elders of the people, and he decided with them to build fortresses in Judea, and to build up the walls in Jerusalem, and to raise a great height between the stronghold and the city, in order to separate it from the city, so that it would stand alone and would have neither buying nor selling there. And they came together to build up the city. And the wall that was over the brook, toward the rising of the sun, was fallen. And he repaired that which is called Shephenethah. And Simon rebuilt Adada in Shephelah, and he fortified it, and he set up gates and bars. And so, when Trypho had decided to reign over Asia, and to assume the diadem, and to extend his hand against King Antiochus, he was afraid, lest Jonathan might not permit him, but might fight against him. So he sought to seize him, and to kill him. And he rose up and went to Bethshan. And Jonathan went out to meet him with 40,000 men chosen for battle, and he came to Bethshan. And when Trypho saw that Jonathan came with a great army to extend his hand against him, he was afraid. And so he received him with honor, and he commended him to all his friends, and he gave him gifts. And he instructed his troops to obey him, just as himself. And he said to Jonathan, "Why have you troubled all the people, when there is no war between us? And now send them back to their houses, but choose for yourself a few men, who may remain with you, and come with me to Ptolemy, and I will deliver it to you, and the rest of the fortresses, and the army, and all who are in charge of governing, and I will turn and go away. For this is the reason that I came." And Jonathan believed him, and he did as he said. And he sent away his army, and they departed into the land of Judah. But he retained with him 3,000 men, of whom he sent 2,000 into Galilee, and 1,000 came with him. But when Jonathan entered into Ptolemy, those of Ptolemy closed the gates of the city, and they captured him. And all those who entered with him, they executed with the sword. And Trypho sent an army and horsemen into Galilee, and into the great plain, to destroy all the associates of Jonathan. But when they had thought that Jonathan had been captured and slain, along with all who were with him, they encouraged one another, and they went out prepared for battle. Then those who had pursued them, seeing that they stood for their lives, were turned back. And so they all came into the land of Judah with peace. And they bewailed Jonathan, and those who had been with him, exceedingly. And Israel mourned with great lamentation. Then all the nations that were all around them sought to crush them. For they said, "They have no leader or helper. Now therefore, let us fight against them and take away the memory of them from among men." Sirach 30:31. He who loves his son will frequently chastise him, so that he may be happy in the very end, and not grope for the doors of his neighbors. He who instructs his son will be praised over him, and will glory in him, in the midst of his household. He who teaches his son will make his enemy jealous, and in the midst of his friends, he will glory in him. When his father has died, it will be as if he were not dead. For he will have left behind someone who is like himself. In his life, he saw him and rejoiced in him. And at his passing, he was not sorrowful, nor was he confounded in the sight of his enemies. For he left behind himself a defender of his house against his enemies, and someone who will repay his friends with kindness. For the sake of the souls of his sons, he will bind up his wounds, and at every voice his gut will be stirred up. An untamed horse becomes stubborn, and a child left to himself becomes headstrong. Coddle a son, and he will make you afraid. Play with him, and he will make you sorrowful. You should not laugh with him, otherwise you may have grief, and in the end, your teeth be clenched. You should not give him power in his youth, but you should not despise his thoughts. Bow down his neck in his youth, and slap his sides while he is a child, lest perhaps he may become stubborn, and then he will not trust you, and so he will bring sorrow to your soul. Instruct your son, and work with him, lest you give offense by his shameful behavior. Better is a healthy pauper with a strong constitution, than a wealthy man who is weak and afflicted by maladies. A healthy soul with the sanctity of justice is better than all the gold and silver. And a sound body is better than immense revenues. There is no revenue above the revenue of a healthy body. And there is no delight above a joyful heart. Death is better than a bitter life. And eternal rest is better than continual sickness. Good things hidden in a closed mouth are like seats at a feast placed around a grave. What benefit is there in an offering to an idol? For it can neither eat nor smell. So is he who flees from the Lord, carrying the wages of his iniquity. He sees with his eyes and groans, like a eunuch who embraces a virgin and sighs. You should not give your soul to sadness, and you should not afflict yourself by your own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of a man, and it is a treasure of sanctity without defect. And the exultation of a man is length of life. Take pity on your own soul by pleasing God, and show self-restraint. Gather your heart into His sanctity, and drive sadness far away from yourself. For sadness has killed many, and there is no usefulness in it. Envy and anger will diminish your days, and pensiveness will bring old age before its time. A cheerful and good heart is like a feast, and its feasts are formed by diligence. Watching for wealth consumes the flesh, and thinking about it takes away sleep. Anticipation in thought distracts the mind, and a grievous infirmity makes the soul sober. The rich man has labored in gathering wealth, and in his rest he will be filled with his goods. The poor man has labored in his lowly way, and in the end he may still be in need. Whoever loves gold will not be justified, and whoever pursues consumption will be consumed by it. Many have been caused to fall because of gold, and it became their ruin by its beauty. Gold is a stumbling block to those who sacrifice for it. Woe to those who pursue it eagerly, for all the imprudent will perish by it. Blessed is the rich man who is found to be without blemish. And blessed is he who has not gone after gold, nor placed his hope in money or treasures. Who is he? For we should praise him. For he has done wonderful things in his life. He has been tested by it, and has become perfect. He will have eternal glory. He was able to transgress, but he has not transgressed. He was able to do evil, but he has not done evil. Therefore, his good things are established in the Lord, and the entire church of the saints will proclaim his almsgiving. Are you seated at a great table? You should not open your mouth over it first. You should not speak in this way. There are many things that are upon it. Remember that a wicked eye is evil. What has been made more wicked than the eye? Therefore, when it sees, it will shed tears over the entire face. You should not extend your hand first, for then, having been corrupted by envy, you would be ashamed. You should not press forward at a feast. Understand which things are your neighbor's and not your own. Make use of the things that are set before you, just as a frugal man would. Otherwise, if you eat much, you will be hated. Cease eating first, for the sake of discipline. And do not eat to excess, lest you offend. And if you sit in the midst of many, you should not extend your hand before they do, and you should not be the first to ask for a drink. How sufficient is a little wine for a well-taught man? For in sleep, you will not labor because of it, and you will not feel pain. Worry and disease and torment are with an intemperate man. A healthy sleep is with a temperate man. He will sleep until morning, and his soul will be delighted with him. And if you have been coaxed into eating too much, rise up, go outside, and vomit. And it will refresh you, and you will not bring sickness upon your body. Listen to me, son, for you should not spurn me. And in the very end, you will discover my words. In all your works, be prompt, and then no infirmity will befall you. The lips of many will bless the splendid in bread. For the testimony of his truthfulness is faithful. The city will murmur against the wicked in bread. For the testimony against his wickedness is true. Do not choose to provoke those who love wine. For wine has destroyed many. Fire tests the hardness of iron. Similarly, drinking wine to inebriation will rebuke the hearts of the arrogant. Drinking wine in sobriety gives a contented life to men. If you drink it in moderation, you will be sober. What is life to him who is diminished by wine? What can cheat him of his life? Death. From the beginning, wine was created for cheerfulness, but not for inebriation. Wine taken in moderation lifts up the mind and the heart. Sober drinking is healthful to mind and body. Wine taken in excess stirs up conflict and anger, and brings many to ruin. Wine taken in excess is bitter to the soul. The effects of inebriation are a stumbling block to the imprudent, diminishing strength and causing wounds. You should not argue with your neighbor during a banquet of wine. And you should not spurn him in his cheerfulness. You should not speak words of reproach to him. And you should not press him with repeated requests. Proverbs 23 verses 13 through 16. Do not be willing to take away discipline from a child. For if you strike him with the rod, he will not die. You will strike him with the rod, and so shall you deliver his soul from hell. My son, if your soul will become wise, my heart will be glad with you. And my temperament will exult, when your lips will have spoken what is upright.